Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the Canelo Sweepstakes, as we will discuss what I think are the 5 to 6 potential options for Canelo in his next fight. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So the Canelo Sweepstakes video, it's a little different than the what's next videos. For Canelo, I break down just the 6 guys, 5 to 6 guys, 6 guys in this one that I think have potential chances of getting a Canelo fight in May. And I rank them from 6 to 1 and break down why I think. In a what's next video, it's a little different because what we do there is I basically go over the guys in his division, maybe the guys potentially from 160 that could have a chance moving up, or the division up if he'd be willing. But I go through every fighter and say why not real fast. So this video is different. Canelo's the face of boxing. He's still the face of boxing. He generates a ton of revenue, ticket sales, and a lot of pay-per-view buys, even for the worst fights like Berlanga. No real boxing fan was really looking forward to that fight, and Canelo still did the fight, and he had good numbers. He had pretty solid numbers considering. So you know that factors into everything. So now let's start. So number 6 for me, the guy that I think has the 6th best chance of landing a Canelo fight, is Chris Eubank Jr. of the United Kingdom. And a lot of people are going to be like, what? Why? I'll tell you why. I don't think it's a strong chance, but Eubank was a finalist to land the fight in September with Canelo. That tells me that if Eubank looks good in his next fight and Canelo can't lock down a big fight for next May, or doesn't get it on his terms, he could potentially go to the United Kingdom for a big card and fight a guy like Chris Eubank Jr. You know, he would probably sell out Wembley, and that would be huge for Canelo to travel. He'd take on a guy like Eubank. He'd be a heavy favorite, you know. So I do think there's potential for that. Do I want to see that? Absolutely not. I'm saying because Eubank was a potential option for the September fight, and I thought he was going to get it for a minute there over Berlanga, you know, I think Eubank will still be an option moving forward. Number 5 is Arthur Beterbiev. Beterbiev, right now the unified light heavyweight champion. A lot is riding on his showdown with Dimitri Bivol that takes place October 12th. If Beterbiev beats Bivol, I really think Canelo would stay away from Beterbiev. But with Beterbiev being 39 years old and depending on how he looks, like say he grinds out a tough decision or stops a tired Bivol in the late rounds, I think that could lead to Canelo taking the risk, saying fuck it in May, and going after undisputed. But if Beterbiev looks just overwhelming like he has looked, if he doesn't look old, if he comes out and just fucking walks over Bivol, then that changes the game, and I don't think Canelo will want to take that risk. But I still do think a shot at undisputed at 175 is a big thing that Canelo might want to do. Now, number 4 for me, might be a little surprise, Sebastian Fundora. Why? People are going to ask. Well, Fundora is in line to fight Terrence Crawford, right? They got 10 days now to come to a purse bid, or come to an agreement before that goes to a purse bid. I'm not sure Crawford or Fundora want this fight next, but say they do fight and Fundora pulls off the upset, because guys, I'm telling you right now, Fundora physically, he is 6'5", Crawford's 5'8". Fundora throws a shitload of punches. He's strong. Crawford, not his strongest at 154. I think Fundora's got a serious chance to pull off an upset. I really do. And if he does, and he's 6'5", and he's a freak, and he's also a Mexican-American, and let's say that fight gets done by like May, that fight gets done in like January or February, kind of like the way Munguia did against John Ryder, beating him in January. You don't think Canelo would try to get Fundora to come fight him in May? And what if the Crawford fight, potential fight, doesn't happen? What if Canelo says, fuck it, I'll give up, or Fundora says, I'll give up the WBO belt and hold on to the WBC belt and fight Errol Spence. And if he beats Errol Spence, then Canelo still might go after Fundora in May. You guys might think I'm tripping, but because of his physical gifts, you know, like his size, his range, also he's there to be hit. He's been knocked out before. He's been hurt by Zoo. You know, it would make for a special attraction type fight. He'd be moving up in weight, but he's so tall at 6'5", Canelo might fight him. And again, Mexican-American and Cinco de Mayo weekend is when Canelo fights. Makes sense, guys. Makes sense. I think Sebastian Fundora is definitely in the mix. And if he fights and beats Terrence Crawford next, then he absolutely is in the mix for sure. Number 3, David Benavidez. People might say Canelo wants nothing to do with Benavidez. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. He hasn't fought him. He's absolutely ducking him to this point. But maybe Canelo says fuck it because he gets tired of seeing of everything. He gets tired and says fuck it. Benavidez is supposed to be coming back in December. If he does, and I'm hearing Jesse Hart, I'm hearing David Morrell as a potential opponents next. If he just kind of looks whatever again at 175, and Canelo decides to say, you know, says fuck it, I'll fight him finally, because we know the WBC is putting Canelo's feet to the fire now. We're gonna see. Canelo might take on David Benavidez. Do I think he's gonna fight him? I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it, and the way Canelo's gone, I gotta say no, but I hope he would fucking want to fight him at some point finally, but we'll see. Number 2 is Terrence Bud Crawford. Crawford, the potential of a super showdown with Crawford, you know, he passed on it already, but I think Canelo will make a shitload of money to fight Crawford. If Crawford goes out and beats Fundora in his next fight, if they fight and he beats him, I think Canelo might say, fuck it, let's do this, Crawford, right now. Let's go and get it together. Not 100%. I still think it's about 50-50. I think Canelo's interested, but, you know, after the way Crawford looked against Madrimov, he might want to see Crawford fight and beat a guy like Fundora next to really just say, you know, hey, I'm 100% legit here, and I want to, you know, I'm ready for Canelo. Canelo might need to see that in order to make the fight more sellable and more believable, and to make it bigger. So I do think Crawford's a serious option for Canelo. And then finally, the number 1 guy, the guy that I think is most likely going to get the next Canelo fight, in my opinion, it's Dimitri Bivol. Bivol is fighting Artur Beterbiev October 12th. I think he's going to beat Beterbiev. I do. I picked him to win. Go back and look at my breakdown video. You can see why I picked him. If Bivol beats Beterbiev and becomes undisputed at 175, Canelo's already had his belts taken away at 168. One of them, he might have 1 or 2 more slipping away. He doesn't care about 168 anymore unless it's a big super fight, and he doesn't care about undisputed anymore at 168. But I think he does care about undisputed at 175. And if a potential clash with Dimitri Bivol is there, he might go after it. And I think there's a very good chance that Bivol beats Beterbiev, and I think there's a very good chance Canelo moves up to 175, because at that point it gives like Crawford and Fundora and guys like that time to do some more work, prove themselves a little bit more. If Benavidez beats Morrell or beats one more guy in that time frame, maybe by next September, Canelo says, okay, I'll fight Benavidez now, or I'll fight Crawford, or one of them, you know, if he were to beat Bivol in a rematch. So I think a lot is riding on that, you know, and obviously a lot is riding on whether he beats Dimitri Bivol or not. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's the Canelo Sweepstakes. the 6 options that I think Canelo could be considering for his next fight. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.